So has the stock to flow model been invalidated? We're going to look at that in this video, guys, but really quick, let's look at the price action on Bitcoin. We've gotten this beautiful bounce off of that 45.5 level, given this nice accumulation pattern. This is the exact bounce that we were looking for. You know that we've been basically in these two minor trading ranges. We've been in this more micro trading range from 48.5 to 45.5. And then if we zoom out a little bit, we've been in this a little bit larger accumulation phase, and that's going from 52 to 45.5. Okay, so right now we're still in that micro. We've gotten a beautiful bounce off of our low 45.5. We're looking again to make our way up here, flip this resistance into support, make our way through here, flip this resistance as support, and then we go ahead and trade higher. Okay, if we look at the RSI, we're getting a nice, strong, big buying pressure off of that bounce. And so we know that this is not a weak bounce. And so we're gaining momentum on this move. All right, so as far as that goes, still looking very good. Stock to flow, guys, okay? So for those of you who are not familiar with stock to flow can be used for really any commodity or any sort of asset that has a known issuance and a relative limited supply. Okay, so PlanB was the one who applied this to Bitcoin. So we know only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, right? And we know the daily issuance of that asset of Bitcoin. All right, and so what we have is this white line, this gray line in the back. That's the stock to flow model, okay? And that's just based on the known supply of Bitcoin and the known daily issuance of Bitcoin, okay? And as you can see, price action is in that colored rainbow line, right? And so we know that the stock to flow so far has proven relatively accurate, okay? We're not really going to use it as top and bottom signals, right? But we can know historically whether or not we're undervalued or overvalued. Okay. Now, while the stock to flow model has not been invalidated, right? Because right now we're about one standard deviation below the model. Okay, we got here when we had a correction down to 29,000. That was very similar to what we had. It was actually a little bit over 1 degree of standard deviation, one standard deviation. Now we made our way back up closer to the model, so that's good, right? But again, we're back at about 1 standard deviation. Now you can see to the upside, we go basically 2 standard deviations above, okay? And so it does fluctuate, but what do we notice? When we get way overvalued, we go ahead and we come back down to the mean, okay? Overvalue, come back down to the mean. Now, just like here in 2019, bottom of the bear market, right? What had to happen in order to continue to validate this? We had to move our way back up, okay? And it continues to hug this line and follow this model, okay? I know that PlanB has said that if we stay below or above, but if we stay below more than 1 standard deviation for any longer, for 6 months or longer, then he will invalidate this model. Okay. And so right now we're at 1 standard deviation. That's fine. And so we have the bull thesis, right? Bull market thesis, where we do believe that this is going to have some upward momentum, right? But what we want to look at, though, guys, is this color. Okay. The color is based on the days until halving. Okay. We have our little key down here. All right. Once we're blue, right, the halving just happened, and we still have about 1,400 days left to the next halving. Okay. We get into the green, and we're working our way to, let's say 1,000, right? And give or take. Okay. Then we get into the orange. Now we're down to 500, 700 days, right? And then we get into the pink, and we're days away from the next halving. All right. And so you'll notice in the pink, right, which is right before the next halving, you'll notice that this is basically the very beginning of the bull run. Okay. Not the bottom of the bear market, but beginning of the, basically the big move in the bull run, right? Okay, now green, this is what I want us to focus on, is this green, right? So 2013, we get into this green, and basically toward the end where we get into the kind of this dirty green, that's the top. Okay, again here, 2017, we get into this dirty green, that's the top. Now we're starting to get into that dirty green right now, right? However, some people are saying, yes, this is the top based on this. However, remember, if this is going to continue to be valid, right, we do need to come across the mean and pull to the upside of this model, right? Now, this, we believe, is a support of a lengthening cycle or a super cycle for this year. Okay, we believe that this, again, you know that we've been saying that this is a reset of this cycle. And so that matches this pretty well, right? And so possibly from here on out, we are starting to deviate from the 4-year halvings of Bitcoin, okay? If we do continue this bull market for the remainder of 2022, obviously the bear market is going to be shorter, okay? And it's also very possible that we don't get a deep bear market as we normally do, right? Because now the cycles have very much deviated from the norm of 4 years, right? And very clear bull cycles, very clear bear markets. So this, while stock to flow has not been invalidated, guys, it's very, very clear by this that the cycle lengths are changing. All right. And once again, it does fit our thesis for a reset of this cycle. All intents and purposes, we look at this, we look at on-chain data, we look at the technicals, okay, and all of that seems to match up. Make sure we're practicing proper risk management, right? Because it could go against us at any time. The more macro economic, what's the word I want to use? Just the outlook right now, right, is extremely overheated, we'll say. Okay, it doesn't look too good, right? Rates are starting to go up. We have inflation, CPI number, which is continuing to increase, but it's actually much higher than what they say it is, right? Because they take out what they want to take out. Everything is overextended. Stocks are overextended. The real estate market extremely overextended, right? And so we do need to keep these things in mind and always practice proper risk management. And guys, in this market, do not try and time the top. Okay, take your profits, be a wise, a smart, and like the big players do, sell into strength. Do not let the fear of missing out and saying, hey, I have to get every little bit of this move. Do not let that take over, and sell into strength, and be sure you have capital set aside for when everything comes crashing down. All right, guys, the name of the game and the long-term successful plan for any sort of investing and any sort of wealth management or wealth building is going to be practicing proper risk management. All right, guys, hopefully you found this useful. If you did, hit that like, hit the subscribe if you have not already, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.